So the community in East London actually crowned this one guy as being their king.
A couple of vehicles were torched.
This so-called coronation took place right there in the middle of a Xhosa king's kingdom.
But what has happened outside here has left about 4 people in hospital.
Why is the president not saying anything?
Hey, and welcome to the Political Show right here on Active FM, where radio has never been better. I'm your girl Cynthia, but you can call me Gix, and with me in studio we have
Gavin Ensslin.
Pastor Gavin Ensslin and
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight, right here on the Political Show, where Christ politics is
Hot politics.
hot politics. And this week's hot politics, we are speaking about something that South Africans have been speaking about, protesting across East London.
Pre-Easter protests.
Yes.
Killed each other.
It's very
Kill the foreigner.
ish. It's
Stop taking our shops.
it's a very interesting situation, but it's about tradition, law, and a controversy that has sparked both an outrage and we watched a video from Bonsai Shongwe, who speaks about society, culture, and the economy. So we're going to look at this, and Pastor Gav, do you want to tell them what this topic is about?
It's to do with some Nigerians in a place in South Africa called East London, and they are of a specific group of people within Nigeria called the Igbo. Now, the Igbo are one of the tribes in Nigeria that are extremely Christian, and so the community in East London actually crowned this one guy as being their king. Now, South Africa, there's a lot of what they call traditional leaders. So, for example, in the Eastern Cape, you've got the Xhosa, so they've got their own Xhosa kings and their own chiefs and all of that sort of stuff. In KwaZulu-Natal, you've got the Zulu chief, which is the Zulu king, etc., etc. So, you've got a number of nations in South Africa, each of which have their own king. And those are their traditional leaders. And now, what they're all saying is that this so-called coronation took place right there in the middle of a Xhosa king's kingdom. And people are very angry. The protests actually got violent, and all of this sort of stuff. So this is what we're going to discuss. But Bonsai Shongwe takes a fascinating view on the whole thing. And the view is as to why do people get so angry. And that's what we're going to discuss today regarding the Igbo king. I think, Glory, that's what we can call the title. So regarding the Igbo king, why are the people getting so angry?
That is what we are going to be speaking about. It's going to be awesome, as always, right here on the Political Show, where Christ politics is
Hot politics.
hot politics.
Waiting.
So the controversial coronation of a Nigerian Igbo leader, Chief Solomon Ogbonna Eziko. That is his full name. I probably pronounced it really wrong. But he was coronated as Igwe Ndigbo na East London. And this took place on the 14th of March 2026 in East London, specifically in Kukompo, Eastern Cape, South Africa. And this event has caused significant controversy and sparked protests by local civic groups and political parties who argue that the coronation is a violation of South African traditional leadership protocols. So what's this? This specific incident has highlighted the tensions regarding the Diaspora communities establishing traditional leadership structures outside of the country home. And the Igbo community coronation was viewed as an illegal coup, basically, and in the jurisdiction of King Vuland, and it sparked outrage amongst the local leaders. Then violence erupted during protests, and 12 vehicles were burned, 3 people were injured, and shops were damaged. Police had to use rubber bullets to disperse crowds. And this tension, is linked to xenophobic, according to a lot of people. They believe that it's linked to xenophobic sentiments against Nigerian immigrants, perceived as undermining local authority and taking resources. What are your thoughts on that?
I wanted to focus specifically. I mean, I don't know, Black Knight, if you want to first of all mention your take on a Nigerian king being crowned in South Africa. Maybe you can just give your expression first.
Yeah, but so I was actually having a conversation these past few weeks with some people about this, and my take is the people, as long as like it wouldn't affect me as a South African, whereby if I see the Igbo and probably I have to bow down, do some prostrate practices or whatever. If I don't have to do that, and I can probably, not even probably, and I'll have to greet him as a normal person, as a person. I won't even get to the political side of it, but as a person, for me, I have no problem as long as I don't have to bow down to you or anything. And then if you have a land where you purchased and you own that land and it's yours by virtue of right, law, following everything, if there's corruption involved in it, probably I wouldn't agree to that. But if the people bought the land using the law and no corruption was involved, and I find no problem if the guy is like, I'm the king of the land that I purchased. Yeah, you can be king, you can be whatever you want on that land, but if you out of that land, it's something different. My biggest take just is why is the president not saying anything towards this matter? The president hasn't said anything that we know of from now towards this matter. That's my only problem. But other than that, we have Orania, we have them, and they exist on the same law of its private property. So as long as it's not like in our law where we have to bow down to the guy, honestly, that's my take. I have no problem with that.
I don't think too many South Africans are going to agree.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Being crowned in South Africa.
I know.
All right. But Bonsai Shongwe does actually take a different take. And, obviously there's a lot of questions. And the first thing he does say is that the king, is almost like it's a sort of like a representative. I don't know how to put it, but he speaks about the Igbo and the title king or Igwe within the Igbo community is often a cultural misunderstanding. There's a saying, Igbo Enwe Eze, which translates the Igbo has no king, as they follow I'm just going to read this, all right? Traditionally decentralized and egalitarian social structure rather than a top-down territorial kingship. In such a context, the Diaspora, the speaker claims that such a leader functions more like a community judge or the chairperson of a stokvel. And his role is to provide guidance, settle internal disputes, and represent the community rather than exercise sovereign authority. So that's the one thing. But why are people so angry about this? And he reckons it's related to the economics of the country. In fact, many of the reasons why people in South Africa are complaining is because they don't have work, they don't have employment, they don't have funding, and yet these guys are coming with funding and from other countries, and they're buying up all the informal shops, and taking over the economy type of thing, and leaving the locals stranded, on the side of the street. And he speaks about the fact that since the country's peak growth of 2009, the year 2009, the growth has gone down, and it's way less than 1%. And countries like China and India have way outperformed South Africa, which means that there's been a lack of economic growth in South Africa and high unemployment because of poor policy decisions that have made the public angry and caused social instability. And so what he's saying is, if people are doing badly economically, they get very angry very quickly. Whereas if most of them were working, maybe running businesses, all of this sort of thing, most of those people would not have had the time to get angry. And so the whole thing is related to a Marxist ideology. He compares us to China, for example, who over the same period, since 1994, when Nelson Mandela ascended to the presidency on behalf of the ANC, that China has consistently grown anywhere between 5 and 10%. Their growth has been between 5 and 10% higher than South Africa's. And the thing, the statement he makes in the video is that happened because the Chinese government tossed out Marxism and started making the economy more free. And that as a result of that, the economy started growing, and we are holding on to antiquated policies that are outdated, that do not work. And so therefore, at the end of the day, there's been a steady economic decline that has been happening in South Africa for a number of years, due to these matters. So that's something to think about, because if you look at people who start businesses in South Africa, they are not rewarded by the government or by society. In fact, it's actually things are incredibly difficult for people to start businesses. And one of the things he says that if a young person starts a business, if the growth rate is as bad as what South Africa's growth rate is, what that means is the chances of that young person being successful in their business are massively diminished. And they'll think it's because of their own lack of skill or things like that. But the reality at the end of the day is that it's not because of their lack of skill, but often it's because the economy is not growing, which means there's no space, for people in the economy.
Yeah.
So he's talking about opening up markets and, giving people the space to actually start their own businesses and possibly even become employers. And in so being, over time, over probably a relatively short period of time, your unemployment will drop dramatically. Just to say one last thing, I and we've said it before on the show, I don't believe that the government's job is to create wealth for people. I believe that the government has to protect the country in terms of the military from invasion. I believe that the government has the responsibility to ensure that there's law and order, and those sorts of things, and schooling and infrastructure and all of those sorts of things. And then for the rest, leave that to private individuals who are using the profit motive as their reason for getting involved, in all of this stuff.
And I just wanted to say before she carries on that, because also a diaspora effect, we've always had that with the whole drug industries. Obviously now with the foreigners coming in and making their own economy and stuff like that. And also with the corruption, I think money would just go out and we don't even know where the money went to or what the money was for. So I don't think this incident would be, different, because that's an issue that we've always had, and whereby we don't have the money circulating within our country, but money is leaving our country and we don't know how. So for me, that's why I don't really think that's why people will be angry. I think this is just a decoy. People are just angry for, I don't understand why people are angry, for sure.
Unemployed people are angry. That's what he says.
Yeah, I think that's a very good or interesting look at or perspective to with this whole situation, especially looking from the thing of cultural misunderstanding. The fact that they coronated him or crowned him doesn't mean that they take him over.
You crown a Nigerian Igbo king in East London, in the southern part of South Africa.
In fact, these
Nigerians come here and they make nonsense.
That's like you need to have courage to do that. Also, I give them that too.
But then also, I understand that we also need to try and understand their culture, especially
No, why?
how
But they need to understand our culture.
No,
Yo,
sorry,
no,
Gigs.
I'm not saying before this turns into
Nah.
a debate. I'm not saying what
Gigs,
they
I know
did
lots
was
of people
wrong
who've been to
or right.
Nigeria and they make zero attempt to understand our culture when we
No,
there.
I'm not saying that what they
But that's
did
what you
was
said.
no. I'm saying that
Are we having a
what's
fight?
this? We are starting protests and people are dying instead of asking the questions, right? Like, if people felt if people feel like they are disrespected, and things like that, instead of just protesting, rather ask the questions and then come up with a solution.
So
Then
are you saying,
get
Gigs,
people killed and stuff.
if I went to downtown Kinshasa and hire a hall and get some South Africans there and then they crown me king of the South Africans in Kinshasa, do you think that the people in Kinshasa are going to be okay
I'm
with
not
it?
saying that they're going to do something different. I'm saying that the solution is not protest. If the people in Kinshasa, protest, I'm not saying that that is right.
Protest
so what
or
I'm
stab?
saying,
Protest or stab.
I don't know.
That's funny.
What I'm saying is that also understanding the context behind what they're doing, instead of just saying that they're here to change things or whatever. So obviously do understand that it's something that's shocking. Also, the Igbo community just coming together and deciding that they're going to have the whole coronation as well. They also should have had conversations. But my thing is, they were supposed to sit and talk instead of getting, people getting killed or injured even. The innocents are the ones who suffer when things like this happen. And then also the whole thing with the economy. Yes.
Yeah, in marriage, I've learned that, ask questions and get context
Yeah.
before you fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before you protest,
Before you protest.
because people get
exactly.
injured.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But what's this? I think I also agree with the whole thing with the aspects of the
Economics, yeah.
I just forgot how to pronounce the word.
The diabolical economic
Yes.
situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also agree with that whole thing, and I think the fact that we need to look at our the economy here in South Africa and look at the unemployment rate and
And
stuff.
do you guys?
I mean, yeah, continue.
Do you guys think the Diaspora thing is the same thing as the Iran with the banks, shadow banking, and all of that? Do you think that we also go through the same thing?
No, they're shadow economies. But the fact is, the economic policy of our government here in South Africa has been very poor.
But
Yeah.
why aren't the banks saying anything about it?
No, but they fund these guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the question.
The policy has been poor, and it's extremely difficult for anyone who starts up a business in South Africa.
Yes.
They make it absolutely and utterly terrifyingly difficult. They bury them in a mountain of paperwork.
That's true. I mean, look at the whole thing with the triple BEE
Oh.
Yo.
standards
Okay, bad,
and
bad. Now we okay.
and stuff like that. So
Even
Peop-
climate change, Paul. We haven't even seen the effect of that yet.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to actually sit instead of adding all of these regulations and all of these policies and all of these things. We need to sit back and look at the economy of our nation and be like, okay, what can we do to better the economy? Most of the people are lower to middle class people. That's the majority in the country. How can they benefit from how can they start a business and make it simpler? Obviously, we don't put, how do I say it without sounding like Black Knights?
Wow,
How do I
that's
say
the
it without
standard.
sounding like
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you must rather sound like Black Knight
Camps.
when
We
he's
all
not here.
want camps and when he's here.
No, when he's not here.
obviously there's specific
To make
standards.
up.
So not just anyone should be can open a business because there's exploitation and stuff like that. But
No,
it's become very
what gigs
difficult.
did you really just say that?
That's why I said I don't want to sound like Black Knight. So hear what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The law and the
So now we
policies.
must limit who.
No, I'm
who
not
can
saying
start a
limit.
business.
Exactly. That's why I say I don't want to sound like Black Knight. I'm saying
Yeah,
that.
but you did
No.
sound like him.
No,
Yeah.
wait, listen. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying, okay? Let me rephrase my sentence. we need to make it easier for the majority class in South Africa to open up businesses. That is what I'm saying.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay, I was getting worried there for a second. I was thinking, am I in the right podcast?
What's this? Because the policies we have now is easier for the what's this minority class, the rich,
elites.
yeah, and stuff to open up businesses, and they're the ones getting the tenders, and they're the ones who are opening the businesses and things like that. And even
But
when they open,
they have the financial muscle
yes,
to freeze people out, whereas and it's because of all the paperwork. So they can
Exactly.
hire people to do all the paperwork.
exactly,
But
yeah,
the small and medium enterprises, they just get buried,
Exactly.
under the weight of bureaucracy.
exactly, yeah.
That's true.
And that's where the scale is not balanced in South Africa, and we need to look at that. Final thoughts, Pastor Gav, because if I continue speaking, I'll start sounding.
Start a riot. Start a riot.
Yeah, looking at that thing that we've just spoken about, it's the same as they put in things like, for example, a minimum wage. So when you put in a minimum wage, say now someone can afford to hire someone for 2,000 in a month, but the minimum wage is 4.5. If they're a law-abiding person, they're going to say, no, I'm not going to hire them for 2,000 in a month, because for 4,500 a month, I can't afford to. I'm not earning enough. So now what happens is you've got the person who can afford to pay 2,000, the other person is prepared to work for the 2,000 because they don't have a job, and now the whole thing just gets shut down because the person rather tries to find another way, of doing things. The other thing is, if you look at even the Labor Relations Act, they make it extremely difficult, for companies and all of that to deal with staff that are, that are basically abusing them, from a perspective of not doing the work that they're supposed to. And not only that, when you look at the Occupational Health and Safety Act, and you look at all of these other myriad of regulations that businesses have to go through, and you add to that the regulations around banking, which make it incredibly difficult, to get money, especially if you're trying to get money in from customers that might be overseas, outside of South Africa. And this has throttled the economy. This has placed a bottleneck, and has prevented, many things from, I believe, getting off the ground. And when you control everything centrally. Last week we spoke about General Fani Masemola, and in fact General Mkonazi was actually talking in Parliament about the need to split up responsibilities, and there's far too many powers in the hands of one person, especially when you think that the Saviour Police Services are in excess of 200,000 staff members. And he was actually advocating for a far more decentralized model, and that's what I'm saying. In economically, we need a far more decentralized model that enables ordinary people to rise up, and that gives ordinary people a pathway to be aspirational. And when you do that, this economy will grow. And when this economy grows, you're going to have less poverty. And people are frustrated. And so if you're running a business, do you have that much time to concern yourself with an Igbo king that was crowned on the next door property? But if you're unemployed, you've got all the time in the world to go and protest and get violent in the protest. And plus you're already upset because, financially you're not making it. So that would be my final thoughts on this.
Black Knight, yours?
My final thought is just based on the fact that I believe that the president should say something on this. He should speak. And
Our president,
yes, sorry,
as in the country's president,
yes, the country's president.
must say something about this.
Yes, to just I don't know, act like he's
Act is funny.
like he's for the people, because I
So
think
he must have a family meeting.
something like because already we're going to the local elections right now, and it's the ANC right now is just losing more and more people. So I just and now on Tuesday already, we on the 1st of April, we already had the spike with the petrol. So
Was that a spark or a cliff?
true.
Yeah,
That's like we made history. Like it's crazy.
What if the price went up by nearly 20%?
Yeah, like it's crazy. It was my first time.
Was it 3 rand?
Yeah, 3 rand
70
petrol,
or
and
3
then
rand
diesel
20.
is like 7 rand. That's like crazy. And that's just for this month. So next month this can change. For May.
Although I did hear that Trump said that the war's going to end in 2 weeks.
He's been saying the war is finished. We actually done, and then Iran comes up like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
So
Let's fire a missile to Tel Aviv.
So I just believe the president should just speak, and calm things down. And and you'll said the strongest beliefs that we have on this topic, which is the economical side of things. And for sure. So that's my final thoughts.
So when President Cyril Ramaphosa speaks, the nation calms down. Is that your theory?
I think they'll feel like, at least the president, like he's agreeing with us, he's South African or something. It can win him something. Right now, I don't like, people are not with the president.
I don't know.
I think he can use this for something, like to say, it's not South African way.
To say something and hasten the demise of the ANC. Because the people are saying, you're the one that let, you, the ANC, are the ones that let all these guys in here. That's what the people are saying.
Yes, and you see, when we go there, and then the whole thing focuses on him. And I believe that's why he's running away, because people should not be angry.
He's running away because people would shoot him.
So my actual take is, people shouldn't be angry at the Nigerians. They should be angry at the government and obviously the laws and everything.
I do think it's quite a cheek. You come in.
That side. No, that part I don't agree with. Yeah, that part with the Nigerians, because I know them.
I've never heard of
If we did that on their land, it was going to be something else. Even if we bought the land, it was still going to be something else.
We'd become Igbo fodder.
I think that is just typical Nigerians, just having a big head. We all humans, we do have such. So that's.
Nigerians don't have big heads, guys. We're very humble.
In Proverbs 13 verse 23, it says, "An unplowed field produces food for the poor, but injustice sweeps it away."
Yeah, and I do think, because of the policies and the lack of growth, that there is a lot of economic injustice that has taken place in South Africa, and I think people are tired of it being blamed on apartheid, because at the end of the day, some of the ANC needs to say, you know what, after 30 years in power, you need to start taking accountability for the state of the nation. The other thing is that, the apartheid government, the National Party, was only in power for about, I think it was 48 years or 46 years. It was 1948 to 1990. I think it was 46 years. So the ANC is well on their way, to 40 years. Surely you should be able to undo 46 years of a draconian apartheid policy. And even if you take the time before that, where there wasn't full-scale apartheid, going from 1910 to 1994, that's a period of 84 years. Surely by now you should have at least redressed about half of what has gone wrong. And they haven't. They haven't, because the economy is not growing. And the population's getting bigger. On top of that, a whole lot of people have been allowed in through less than legal means. And so now you've got an increasing population group that is competing for diminishing pot of resources. And the manufacturing industry has fallen apart. And so now people are angry. And so now a Nigerian comes, hires a hall, gets crowned king in East London, and people go berserk. Whereas if they've got businesses and things, then they will, they'll probably go and say, look, guys, you shouldn't be doing this here. You're insulting us. Please stop. And the approach that Giggs was talking about is probably something that would have happened. But if you're unemployed and you have no money and you're hungry, and then you see this other person coming from another part of the world, and they get crowned king in your suburb, you're also going to go mad because you're already upset because, you know, there's nothing economically. And so, I like what Proverbs says. And, you know, social justice and, you know, social financial justice, if I can put it that way, can only happen in an economy that grows. Thank you.
Yes, let us know your thoughts on the comments below. I'm your girl Cynthia, but you know you can call me Gix. And with me in studio we've had
Gavin Ensign.
Pastor Gavin Ensign and
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight, right here on The Political Show on XFM, where radio has never been better and Christ politics is
Hot politics.
hot politics.
This is The Political Show.